So the whole time I thought I needed to charge this fucking thing. Pardon my French, parlez-vous. The Bluetooth wasn't on. Well, it's charged now. So, there's that. Hello there. Let's get twisted. I'm Scotty. You're not. Cherry. Black cherry. So, welcome back to March of the Living Dead 3. We're going to finish up the Resident Evil franchise with Resident Evil Raccoon. Welcome to Raccoon. Take 2. We're going to finish up the Resident Evil franchise with Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Movie that has proven that even if you give the fans what they want, they'll still bitch and moan about it. I'm serious. Like, I have some legs to stand on now, alright? Because when I first watched this, I knew only some things about the games, which I still do, but I didn't know anything about the other movies. Now that I've seen all 6 other films, and from what I know of the games, and watching this is the most accurate Resident Evil movie we've had, period. The characters are actually the characters. They're not just thrown in, hey, that's Leon, that's Barry. They're not acting like, shut up, that's Leon and that's Barry. See her? That's Claire. But she's not acting like, that's Claire. That's Jill. But she's not acting like, but she's wearing the thing for Resident Evil 3, so she's Jill. You know what I'm saying? The characters act like the characters, kind of. And I think this movie works as a 1-to-1. As an adaptation to Resident Evil, it works. Yes, the biggest complaint of this movie is you just took 1 and 2 and mushed together like Play-Doh. Sure. But I think the plots work. And I think the reason why they don't just straight up adapt the first one, I thought about this, and because I thought watching other people's reviews and everything, I think if you did a straight up 1-to-1, a movie version of the first Resident Evil, I think you get complaints that it was boring. Because what is the first Resident Evil but you playing as either Barry or Jill and running around a mansion for the whole runtime? Once in a while you get a zombie. Same thing with the second film. You're either Claire or you're either Leon and you're running around the city or the police station. You put those two together and you have a little story put in the middle of it with this William Birkin guy who I don't know was from Resident Evil 2 or not, but and I think it works not completely cohesively, but it's telling a story. And it makes sense that these could be taking place at the same time, seeing as Claire's looking for her brother. Her brother is not there. Well, where is he in the second one? Is he just gone? Did they explain it? In the second game, where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's on a mission to the Arklay Mansion. Hey, what do you know? We have some cohesiveness there. Yes, there is some things in this that are a little bit. If you like to look at the cast, I mean, you didn't have the biggest celebrity cast in the original movies by any means. But you look at this cast, you look at the budget, first of all. The budget of this movie was $25 million. And you're like, well, how did they do that? You look at the cast. The cast: Kaya Scodelario, Hannah John Kamen, Robbie Amell, Tom Hopper, Evan Jaggia, Donald Logue, Neil McDonough. When the biggest actors on your cast are Kaya Scodelario and... no, that's not what I was going to say. When the biggest actors on your cast are Donald Logue and Neil McDonough, you know they're going for a budget film here. And it only made back $42 million. Because people... yeah. People bitched and complained, and word of mouth got out. And went, well, if it's bad as you say it is... By the way, People need to stop this notion that if some people are saying it's bad, don't take their fucking word for it. People are like, oh, word of mouth will spread and people won't go to it. People say it's bad. And that's where they take advantage. Like, especially if you want a movie to die horribly. They'll hate watch it. And then just tell you it's bad. And then they're like, oh, okay, it's bad, I won't see it. What if it's not bad? What if they just want you to hate it? Right? What if there are people out there, I'm not saying it's what happened here, but what if there was someone out there who just went out there, hate watched it, and then just completely hate all over the movie and told people, and they're like, oh, well, it's not worth watching it. Right? Yeah, and the actors. Where do I know them from? Well, Kai Scodelario was in the Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever the fifth one was called. Dead Men Tell No Tales. She was also in the movie Crawl, which I thought was just okay. Hannah John Kamen, of course, from the MCU, and she's been in other things. Robbie Amell was on The Flash until he decided he didn't want to be on Legends, so they killed him off, and he did other projects. Tom Hopper was the one, he's Wesker, and yes, I looked at him and I went, I know him from somewhere. I know him from somewhere. I'm like, I know him. I'm like, wait. He smiled at one point and I went, was he on Doctor Who? So I looked it up, and sure as Shiite, he was Pretty Boy Jeff in the very first episode of Series 5, The 11th Hour. And because I haven't talked about that yet, I haven't gone back to Doctor Who Retrospective. I will. Retrospective is what I said. Retrospective. But it's the first episode with the 11th Doctor. And without going into too much spoilers, the 11th Doctor meets his soon-to-be companion. She has a pretty boy next door neighbor named Jeff. This is our Wesker. Yes, I know who he is. Avon Chogia I know from the show Twisted on ABC Family. Also starred Maddie Hassan. And should have went longer, but it was good. It was good. What's her face? Denise Richards was on it. It was a good show. Only lasted one season, but also known from Victorious. Then Donald Logue from Grounded for Life in Gotham. And he's playing Donald Logue. He's playing himself. Neil McDonough, also from the Arrowverse, you know. And then there's other people. It's just, yeah. I think the cast works. All right, so let's go ahead and talk to the movie now. We start with Naked Mila Jovovich. How? She's not even in the movie. What is she doing here? Oh, I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong window. Hold on. Okay, we start in the 1980s. With Claire Redfield and her older brother Chris are living in an orphanage. Orphanage. Yes, where Claire has an encounter with Lisa Trevor, who I am told is a character from the Resident Evil remake that came out in 2002. She's this figured girl experimented by William Birkin, who is Neil McDonough's character, who works for the Umbrella Corporation. And Claire ends up escaping the orphanage. Orphanage. The modern day part takes place in 1998, which works if you're trying to recreate the game, but they have so many needle drops. And wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream to the top of my lungs, what's going on? That is not the soundtrack I wanted. All they have is the score. I don't want the score. I want only classical released the soundtrack. I want the. Damn it! Hold on. I'll be able to search it on Google here. Google it. I'm sorry, I have the sound on. I was gonna do this, and then Raccoon City soundtrack. I can't remember all of the. Why am I not? Really? On the soundtrack. Not that soundtrack. Here. Alright. It's a heartache. Nothing but a heartache. It's just a little crush. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. Which is a fun joke because Brian Irons has a whole speech he tells to Chris about how, hey, you go home. Or no, to Wesker. But hey, you go home, you can meet your girl, you can play some Journey to get her turned on. So he's in the car listening to Journey. Yeah, I guess there's not a lot, but yeah. Then I say, hey, yeah, yeah. Bitches ain't shit and they ain't saying nothing. No, not that version. Don't ever listen to that version. Though it's all over the internet. Back up here. So, then we start with the opening of Resident Evil 2 with Jill hitchhiking on a semi-truck with a dude who accidentally hits a woman on a road. She then disappears. It says disappears, but we see her get up. The dog licks blood left behind. Of course, he gets infected. Dogs. We gotta have dogs in here somewhere. Then we cut to a diner where we see the STARS team and Leon S. Kennedy talking about, you know, something. We get some banter and it totally just takes out everything. Like, everything in this scene. Just cut. This goes straight to Leon noticing the diner's owner has blood coming out of her eyes. But I'm like, that's like the end of this scene. The end of the whole diner scene. The whole thing, they're all talking, they're all having a little banter back and forth, and they bet that they could hit a bottle off of Leon. And Jill says, I could do it without even looking. And use a real gun. Like, what are you doing? He's like, no, with this, like a little dart shooter thing. So she shoots the dart at Wesker's face, throws it, hits Leon, it falls down. She's like, I win. I want my money. And you know what? So he goes to eat a sandwich, she takes it, and that's where you get the line. No, it's a Jill sandwich now. Ha ha ha! Yeah. And then they are called back to the station. Or they leave, and that's when Leon notices. And Leon's a rookie. And yes, I get the complaints of Leon in this film. Because the dude doesn't even know how to load a shotgun. I never fired a gun in my entire life I could load a shotgun. I've seen enough movies, played enough video games, watched enough TV. I could load a shotgun. Can't guarantee I'll be able to fire one, but I could load it. I'm just saying. I can't guarantee my accuracy, but I could load it. I think. Could shoot my foot off, but I don't know. But Claire breaks into her brother's house or apartment or whatever, and is there to tell him about Umbrella's experiment. She doesn't want to hear it. Says she has this journalist guy, Ben Bertolucci, I guess it's from the games, is her source, but he doesn't want to hear it, and he leaves. Which more zombies then show up. Claire's able to escape. So I have an issue. And it's this movie, and it's... Which one was it? It's Retribution, I think. And it's a problem that a lot of zombie movies have. Where they do this scene where it all looks normal and something, and the zombie just shows up in someone's house. And my question is always, how the fuck did they get in the house? I assume the doors are locked. And you can't tell me zombies know how to pick locks or something. Did they break through a window? And if so, why didn't they hear the window? Right? Because it's just like... like this child breaks into the house and gives chase to Claire. Like, where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I don't know. But we have a meeting at the police station, or a trailer next to the police station. It's very weird looking. I don't know. But then everyone was told to be there, but then Chief Irons yells at Leon, and then he says this line that confuses me. He's like, "Get a haircut." Donald Logue's hair is almost the same length as Avon Juggy is in this movie, so that line makes no fucking sense. How come he needs to get a haircut, but you can keep yours there, Chiefy? But yeah. And he tells them they're going to investigate the remote Spencer mansion. I thought it was the Arklay mansion. Why is it the Spencer mansion now? It's in the Arklay Mountains, I guess, but I don't know. So the Alpha team is sent, and that is Chris Redfield, if you need to know the full name, Jill Valentine, Richard Aiken, Brad Vickers, and Albert Wesker, who are... Is that the team that goes in? Minus Barry? Barry's not in this fucking movie, which pissed me off. Oh, everything. I'm like, why do they never have Barry in anything? And the one movie he's in, he sacrifices himself. Like, Barry, come on. I would have had Barry in this movie, and I would have had Kevin Durant play him again, just to confuse fucking people. You can't tell me Kevin Durant wouldn't fit in with this cast. I'm just saying. Yeah, they go by the chopper to investigate. But Wesker is secretly working for someone else. Revealed to be an umbrella. Duh. Yeah. He is to get the virus that William Birkin created that's at the mansion, I guess. Yeah. The zombies are eating the Bravo team, so lunchtime, folks. Yes. And Brad gets bitten and crashes the helicopter. Okay, there's no context here, so how the hell does he get bitten in the helicopter? Did it... Nope, I don't know how that happens. And I watched the movie and I don't remember that part. Richard is eaten, and Chris and Jill flee into a secret passageway that Wesker got, because Wesker is evil. Meanwhile, the truck driver, who was bitten by his doggy, turns into a zombie and crashes the truck into the police station. Yes. Chief Irons tries to leave, and this is where you get the journey thing. But he's fired on by umbrella guards who are trying to contain the outbreak, which I get it. But, like, it's implied that it's airborne, right? And I hate it in movies where it's like, we need to contain it to one city. If it's airborne, it's not contained to one fucking city. It's airborne. It's gonna go everywhere. Because they imply by the waitress's bleeding eye, that it's in the air, right? Yet, besides Bertolucci and his Bertolucci's cellmate, then, you know, nothing's implied that it, or maybe that zombie on the road, I don't know. I do like he's like, you're in charge now, and he leaves. When he left the station, he's like, to Leon, he's like, you're in charge now. Me? Yeah, you. And he comes back and he starts ordering. He's like, am I not in charge anymore? I did laugh at that. It's kind of hard to follow when you know. But they find Bertolucci locked in a cell because he's trying to spread conspiracy rumors. Now, does Irons know about Umbrella? Is he in on it? Is that why he was locked away? Or was he told a lie to lock him up? I don't know. Doesn't matter, he's bitten now. Bertolucci is bitten now, and it becomes overrun. And Leon, Claire, and Irons leave. Go to the orphanage. To find a secret tunnel made by Umbrella to lead them to the mansion. But everyone's favorite Resident Evil monster, certainly anyone who's made one of these fucking movies, the liquor shows up because they don't know how to use any other fucking monsters in this thing. Kills Irons and attacks Leon, but Lisa Trevor saves the day, I guess. She recognizes Claire and then gives them the keys to the secret passage. They find a secret lab. Umbrella was experimenting on children! Ooh. Meanwhile, Wesker finds William and his family and has a shootout. Wesker kills William's wife in self-defense, and Jill shoots Wesker, where he dies. Yep, Wesker's dead. And Wesker tells the to escape. So am I missing something? Was this in the games? Did Wesker and Jill have a thing? I don't know. They act like they do in this movie, but nothing really goes anywhere. Yeah. Tells her to escape in an underground train before the Umbrella Corporation bombs the city. But to stop them, William injects himself with the G virus, which they dropped earlier in the film. I'm sorry, what's the G virus? I've only known the T virus through this entire franchise. I'm guessing it's something from the game, but they don't explain it enough. Now we have Chris, Jill, Claire, Leon, and William's daughter, who board the train. But, okay, it says Raccoon City is destroyed, but it's not destroyed yet. William's monstrous version attacks them, but Leon is able to hit him with a rocket launcher because he needs some sort of heroic thing. And, yeah, then they bomb the city, but he always gets it reversed. And Umbrella says that there were no survivors. But the 5 survivors walk out of the tunnel, and then it's Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City title card pops up. So they're supposed to be badass. You know, hey, if we got a sequel, guarantee you that little girl ain't coming back. They never bring a little kid back. Anyway, we have a mid-credit scene. And in the first time I watched this, I was like, okay, he's still alive. But now I'm thinking, how? Not just because he was shot. There was something against the T-virus, whatever. He was left behind when the place was bombed. He'd be eviscerated by the explosion. Right? There'd be no way he would still be in... What? Why would his body be... It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And if the virus was airborne and just infecting people, why didn't he turn into a zombie after he died? Yeah, he wasn't bit, but still. He wakens up and he can't see anything, so he's given sunglasses by Ada Wong, who is not the sequel, but who had a nod to character Resident Evil 2 that would appear in the sequel, though she should have found Leon, not Wesker, but whatever. Now, there was supposed to be a sequel, but like I said, people didn't go to see this. It would have made $42 million. My theory is people watched it and then just hated on it, and word of mouth got around and nobody went to see it. But I'll tell you, this is the closest the Resident Evil has gotten to an accurate Resident Evil film. We took 8 movies. By the way, did you know they actually, the open ending of Resident Evil, the final chapter, was supposed to set up a Resident Evil TV series. Whatever version they were going to do didn't happen, but we got another TV series on Netflix starring Lance Reddick as Wesker. Let me say that again. Lance Reddick as Wesker. Does it make any sense to you? It sure doesn't to me, because Wesker ain't black. But, you know, they don't care stunt casting, right? But he's not even the main character because we follow Wesker's daughters. Because that's a trope everyone likes. And no surprise, that show was canceled after one season. Good. Die in hell, you piece of shit. But now, speaking of pieces of shit, we are getting another reboot. And initially, I was a little bit excited. This is going to be directed by Zach Kreger, who gave us Weapons and Barbarian. Like, yeah, okay, this guy knows horror. And then there was an announcement made by Kreger himself saying none of the characters from Resident Evil games will be in this movie. Then who the fuck cares? What's the point? And it's one of those things, like, you think in over 20 years, people would know what it's like. And again, a lot of it has to do with this movie I'm talking about now. And why is that? Because of all those years, people complaining they want an accurate Resident Evil film. You got one. You still bitched. Now they're like, oh, well, let's just do whatever we want then. You guys didn't like when we didn't follow the games? Then we followed the games. You still didn't like it. So fuck yeah, we'll do what we want. So what I'm saying is, it's all your fault. All you people who went to this movie, who bitched and complained and wanted an accurate Resident Evil film, went to this movie and still bitched and complained and moaned. It's your fault that this shit is still happening. So thanks, assholes. Because you did it. This new movie coming out, if it's bad, I'm not saying it's going to be, it could be something. But if people are now bitching and moaning, if this movie comes out and all the reviews are bitching, well, why couldn't they just make an accurate film? I'm going to throw it back in your fucking faces and say, they did. They made an accurate film and you still shit all over it. So it's your fault. So don't be surprised if it doesn't. Don't be surprised if people are bitching and complaining. I'm trying to figure out where it's going to go because I don't think it's going to be bad. I think because Kreger hasn't really done anything bad. Weapons was good. Barbarian was great. He could miss March, but that wasn't fully him. The late Trevor, whatever his last name is, was also involved in that, and you could tell maybe it was his fault, the bad stuff in that movie. But I just think he could give us a great zombie film. But at the end of the day, people are going to say, that's not Resident Evil. You know? Just like, you go back to the very first Resident Evil movie. That's a great zombie film. But with my knowledge, that's not Resident Evil. Not one character from Resident Evil was in that movie. They start bringing it into the second one. So, yeah, overall, this franchise, it has its ups and massive downs. But, yeah, now we're at the end. And for this movie, I'm going to give it a pretty good. Notice this is the first pretty good I've given since the second one. Yeah? So what are your thoughts on Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City? Leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.